I am one with my glorious I Am presence and Holy Christ Self, my personalities, body elemental, and new spirit. All parts of my being are in balance, harmony, and alignment. And I am fully contained within my heart diamond and Metatron's cosmic egg. I am now ready for today's message. Greetings, beloveds. Christmas has had an interesting week. And I use the term interesting from the point of view of it being a week of learning many lessons and learning them the hard way, if I might say. Her momentum has been growing since the beginning of this year, and she made many changes in her life, which she allowed to come crashing down after Easter. She had gotten to such a high point that many of you reach, and then you enter into what I will call a self-sabotage mode. It is where you make the choice to stop doing the things that you know are increasing your momentum, increasing your light, and you go back to comfortable, old, worn out habits that no longer serve you. This is the ego mind, beloved, that you allow once again to take control of your life. It is easy to do that in periods of great acceleration, where there is great change and much stepping into the unknown. And the unknown is uncomfortable for most of you. And it takes great faith and determination to continue to step boldly through that unknown area in your consciousness and in your being. And so, many of you, like Christmas, choose to take a step back. You think it might only last for a couple of hours, or maybe a day or two at the most. But once you get back into this old way of thinking and being, it becomes harder and harder to step back out and return to the ways of the light. Because the resistance or the drag that is caused by the ego is so great, and it is just simply easier to stay in that mode and to keep it going than it is to say no or stop to the ego and return to the ways of the light. Now, I am not saying this to criticize Christmas or anyone for that matter. This is just part of the unfoldment and what many of you are experiencing on your path of ascension. Also, you often become judgmental about yourself when you fall back into the old ways. And these judgmental thoughts also help keep you down. So I am telling you all of this to make you, one, aware of the possibility of this happening at any time, and two, of the necessity of getting yourself out of this funk as soon as you possibly can. We warned Christmas on about the third day of this week-long event to get herself together, meaning to unite all of the parts of her being so that she continue with the excellent light work that she is doing in the world. But even our encouragement was not enough. And she let day after day go by. And then when the weekend presented itself, she simply said, well, another 2 days won't matter anyway. And so she would just wait till Monday. But during that week-long period, she went back to many of her former addictive habits. Not all of them, just a couple of them. She tried having a glass of wine, which she used to enjoy but doesn't anymore, and that was not a source of pleasure for her at all. She also engaged in much watching of television and eating food, and food that is not good for her, and also went back to drinking coffee, which she had also stopped drinking at the first of this year. This is what happens, beloveds, when you give over control to the ego mind in order to find a comfortable space within you. You cannot go back to the old ways, beloveds. That is not a part of the plan. And you are simply slowing yourself down if you choose to do so. And your momentum takes a big hit. And you will have to start building up your momentum all over again once you bring yourself out of that state of being totally immersed in the ego mind. But I wish you to know that it can happen to anybody at any time. And we do not judge you for it. We simply encourage you to cut it as short as you possibly can so that you can continue building up your light momentum. Continue investing your energy, which is your love and light, in the activities that you know will bring you joy, happiness, peace, and love. All of these activities are directed by the divine within you. Whether you call it God, your guides, or your I Am presence, all of these are working as one to bring you into wholeness, to restore the divinity and perfection of every aspect of your life. But as always, beloveds, you are free to ask this part of yourself for guidance and to follow it, or to simply operate on the habits of the past and what your ego self wants you to do. So this morning, Christmas came to us, saying, Lord, I come with a contrite heart. I know I have been following the ego mind this past week, and it makes me very unhappy. And I will now resolve once again to ask for your guidance and to follow it, because I know that is the source of my greatest joy. And so we told her we were glad to hear that, but that we would have to wait and see if she would actually do that throughout her day. If she would remember to ask for guidance as to what she was to do, and remember to breathe in the light as much as she possibly can, and to do her meditations and this video and her other spiritual work, which she had totally neglected during her week off. But it was not a week of rest and relaxation. It was a week of stagnation. It was a week of lowering her vibration to the point where she felt just awful. But it was apparently necessary to get to that point in order to restore her resolve and determination to once again be connected with her divine self, to once again feel the exaltation of spirit within her that she finds easy to connect to when she is united with her divine self. So I would encourage all of you, beloveds, to remember how important it is to be connected to your divine self, to reconnect throughout the day whenever you start feeling anything less than joy within your being. Another thing she noticed during the past week was how easy it is to feel like the spiritual work she does regularly is somehow not of infinite value. She understood how difficult it is for people to realize the importance of doing their spiritual work, because she herself could not feel it while she was under the dominion of the ego mind. So that was a good experience for her, because in her normal state, where she is connected to her divine self, she cannot understand why everybody on the planet isn't aware of the supreme value of the spiritual work. And now she knows, because it is only when you are at least partially aware of your divine self that you can understand how important spiritual work is. That's why so many people in the world go through their entire life cycle of birth and death without ever awakening to the truth of their being, without it ever becoming a desire, much less an overwhelming necessity of their life, to follow this path of spiritual awareness and enlightenment. So do not judge those who are not yet awakened. Only be concerned with yourself and your own spiritual evolution. For as you evolve, my beloveds, you will be able to be of much greater assistance to those unawakened ones. As long as you are under the dominion of the ego, you cannot be a true teacher in the world, for you are only sharing the ego's muddy reflection of that light. But when you are yourself connected with your own divine light, then you will automatically shine that light, that love, and that wisdom out to the world. And then, sometimes, without even saying or doing anything, you will be having a great influence and effect on the unawakened ones. So much of this work is done on an unconscious level, beloveds. Most of the conscious work stems from the ego's ideas about spirituality. But true love and true light needs no words in order to be felt and experienced by another being. And sometimes that alone is enough to awaken them, to make them want something more than what they have in their life currently. So I wish to say congratulations to Christmas for finally coming out of that state and making herself available once again to do this work. And she will do greater work indeed. And she will be much less likely to ever want or need that experience again, because she has seen it is more than worthless. It can even be detrimental. And she does not wish to do that to herself, nor to those to whom she wishes to make herself of service. And what I say about her is also true of you. I know that you all want to attain the greatest degree of enlightenment and ascension as quickly as you possibly can. This is why I am always encouraging you to do your spiritual work, to make it a priority in your life. And when you have times like this, beloveds, do not chastise yourselves. Simply pull yourselves back together and make the determination that you will return to your spiritual work as quickly as you can and go forward on your path of ascensionment and enlightenment. I love you all. I bless you all, and I thank you for listening to these videos. I am Metatron.